All of you who didn't pull for Blade and instead decided to save for Dragon Danhang instead, looks like you sure aren't going to regret it. This unit not only has insane damage potential, but also has the best animations in the game. Unlike Blade, who doesn't have any free-to-play friendly supports in the current meta, making it hard to increase its damage as none of the 4-star units in the game is able to buff his maximum HP. Danhang works like your traditional DPS, having damage scaling with attack, which means you can put him in a team with Tingyan and Yukong and of course Bronya, but he can perform well enough without her. Then again, he's the most skill-hungry DPS unit in the game, so if you are free-to-play or don't have Bronya, Danhang will be a much better DPS than Blade, but then again, let's be honest, Blade's damage isn't even that impressive, and it gets even worse without Bronya. So let's take a quick look at his kit. Keep in mind, this is not the final version of his kit, and is subject to change before release. His basic attack, Beneficent Lotus, uses a 2-hit attack and deals imaginary damage equal to 100% of his attack to a single target. His skill is a 3-stage enhancement ability that enhances his basic attack, does not consume skill points, and is not considered to be a skill, which means using it will not regenerate energy. It works similar to Blade's enhancement, but it can be enhanced up to 3 times. Also, something that might be confusing, which is what makes him a really selfish DPS unit, is taking up to 3 skill points to get the level 3 enhancement on his basic. But the part that says does not consume skill points, the consumption part occurs only after he lands his enhanced basic attack. So let's take a look at all 3 enhancements. Level 1 transforms his basic attack into Transcendence, which unleashes a 3-hits combo and deals imaginary damage equal to 260% of his attack to a single enemy, generates 30 energy. Level 2 transforms his basic attack into Divine Spear, which unleashes a 5-hits combo and deals imaginary damage equal to 380% of his attack to a single target. From the 4th hit onward, it also deals imaginary damage equal to 60% of his attack to the adjacent enemies, and given it's a 5-hits combo, 2 of those 5 hits will deal damage to the adjacent enemies as well. Generates 35 energy. And level 3 transforms his basic attack into Fulgurant Leap, which unleashes a 7-hits combo and deals imaginary damage equal to 500% of his attack to a single enemy. And from the 4th hit onwards, it also deals imaginary damage equal to 180% of its attack to the adjacent targets. And given it's a 7-hits combo, the adjacent enemies will take damage 4 times, taking up to 720% of his attack in total. Generates 40 energy. And if that damage isn't crazy enough, when unleashing a level 2 or level 3 enhanced basic attack, he also gets 1 stack of Dominating Roar before every hit, starting from the 4th one. Each stack of Dominating Roar increases his crit damage by 12%, stacking up to 4 times. As if his AoE damage wasn't high enough, he also gets up to 48% bonus crit damage on those hits. And if you thought we are done with all the damage buffs,
you are dead wrong.
So let's take a look at his talent. Danhang Imbibitor Lunae gains 1 stack of Righteous Heart after each hit unleashed during an attack. Each stack increases his damage by 14%, stacking up to 6 times. So that will be up to 84% bonus damage just from his talent. The devs were like, hey, you guys like Seele, but you don't have Bronya, you say? Here's a unit that can deal the same amount of damage as Seele can with Bronya, but you don't need Bronya. You're welcome. His ultimate, called Cleansing of the World, unleashes a 1-hit combo that deals imaginary damage equal to 300% of his attack to a single enemy and 140% of his attack to adjacent enemies. He also obtains 2 Squama Sacrosancta, which works as skill point replacement for him. So instead of using skill points, he can also use the equivalent number of Squama Sacrosancta. Cannot hold more than 3 of these at a given time. So to get the maximum damage out of his ultimate, you will be enhancing his basic attack to level 3 before casting his ultimate, which will increase the damage dealt by 84% because of his talent. Now his technique is also an enhancement, as if we didn't have enough of it already. After using his technique, he enters the Leaping Dragon state for 20 seconds, which allows him to move rapidly when using his attack, also attacks any enemy he touches, and blocks all incoming attack. So if you hate getting ambushed while trying to get to that sweet treasure chest, this is the unit you've been waiting for. Also, entering battle while in this state deals 120% damage to all enemies and also provides 1 Squama Sacrosancta. So his bonus abilities: Stirring Dragon Unveiled Legend increases his crit rate by 12% when dealing damage to enemies with imaginary weakness. And given Silverwolf exists, that's just free crit rate, regardless of whatever enemy you are fighting. And given the best healer in the game is an imaginary unit, and then we have a damage buffer like Yukong, who's also imaginary, putting Danhang, Imbibitor, Lunae in a team with those three is going to be insanely OP. Then the second one, Reigning in the Flood, increases crowd control debuff resistance by 35%. And then Concealed Star provides 15 energy at the start of the battle. As if his kit wasn't broken enough already, his Eidolons makes him even better. So if skill points management becomes a problem for you, getting him to E2 will almost get rid of it. I say almost, but if you're running him with units like Tingian and support Silverwolf, it just completely removes the my supports are eating up way too many skill points for my Danhang to use level 3 enhancement in every turn part. His E1 increases the maximum stack for Righteous Heart to 10, and you also gain 1 extra stack for each hit. So now, instead of needing to unleash a level 3 enhanced basic attack, you can use the level 2 enhancement before using his ultimate, and you are still going to get the maximum damage from his talent. E2 advance forwards this action by 100% after using his ultimate, and he also gets 1 extra stack of Squama Sacrosancta. So after using ultimate, he can use Fulgurant Leap without consuming any skill points. Pretty rad. E4 makes the buff provided by Dominating Roar last until the end of his next turn. E6 is one of the most BS Eidolon upgrade I've seen in this game, but given the amount you need to spend to get there, I really don't mind. So anytime any other ally uses their ultimate, his imaginary res penetration on his next level 3 enhanced basic attack is increased by 20%, stacking up to 3 times. Finally, his Light Cone provides bonus crit rate, and also when the wearer uses their basic attack, they gain 1 stack of Dragon's Call for 2 turns. Each stack of Dragon's Call increases attack by 12% and energy regen by 7%, stacking up to 2 times. In a properly built team, you should be able to use at least Divine Spear in each turn, which generates 35 energy. So if you were to use his LC on top, he'll take 4 level 2 basic attacks to fill up his maximum energy. Without his LC, he's still going to take 4 turns. But if you were to give him an energy regen rope, it's only going to be 3 turns. But instead of pulling for his LC, running him with Tingian with Bronya LC and energy rope will be much better. But then again, if you want to pull for his signature LC, then by all means. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that he's also a Destruction Path character, but has higher damage potential than a Hunt Path one. Now, I'm not quite sure why they decided to make him Destruction, as he has no damage reduction on his kit, but his damage potential is higher than Seele paired with Bronya. Maybe they want us to use him with Fuzuan, but Mono Imaginary team is looking really good too, but isn't that free-to-play friendly. Whatever might be the case, if you enjoyed the video, then feel free to leave a like and subscribe for future content like this. We'll discuss builds and other stuffs in another video. I'll see you guys in the next one, and remember to stay awesome. I'm out. Peace.